I think the key concern right now is the proliferation of a lot of these malware. That, especially in the case of Hong Kong, we're seeing numerous findings and surveys that were done by various different bodies, vendors, and research bodies, and so on, showing that many of the small and medium-sized organizations in their organizations, whether we're talking about their desktop PCs or notebooks, their terminal devices, as well as their servers, are oftentimes widely infected with malware and so on, and they are not aware about it. And this, of course, poses a serious problem of in some surveys, we see Hong Kong ranked quite high in terms of the population of zombies and so on. So that is a matter of concern because, in a way, it slows down our network. It makes Hong Kong in some ways a center of forwarding or sending out of all these malware or spams and so on that actually didn't originate in Hong Kong, but we're being taken for a ride by these parties without actually the owner of the machines knowing about it. That seemed to be a big problem here, but the awareness, after years of work by the search body, the HK Cert, that hasn't been a message that the public really has taken notice enough, I believe. So that seemed to be the biggest, to me, the biggest problem that we see. And over the years, we've been trying to ask the government to do more work in providing network monitoring from an overall network perspective, not on a surveillance, not for a surveillance purpose, but really to try to figure out overall what are the trends are in the overall network traffic within and coming in and out of Hong Kong. That apparently still the government isn't willing to do it for a variety of reasons. They're also concerned about the implication on privacy, and people might be mistaken that they are doing surveillance on people's internet traffic. So the best thing to do in that case, in the Hong Kong government context, is let's just forget about it and not do it. So that has been a proposal that many of us in the industry has been putting up to the government, that they need to monitor the network more proactively, like in some other countries. But that there hasn't been a lot of work done in that area. I think it will change very much the way that they are handling or they are taking care of their IT needs. Right now, at least actually in Hong Kong, we've come quite a long way in the last 10 years or so in terms of outsourcing the IT development and even a lot of the operation, especially the hardware, the server operation, and so on. The government doesn't run all of its own data center. So from there, that perspective, they are already outsourcing and putting some of these facilities that they have outside. But of course, that isn't the whole concept of cloud computing. It is probably just part of it. I mean, if we talk to a lot of these people in Hong Kong, including IT managers and engineers in the public organizations, I think at this point we still do not have a very wide and deep understanding about cloud computing. It's different thing to different people, and to many people it just means, oh, we're already doing outsourcing, we're already putting our stuff in the other commercial data centers, so we're not running our own server, so it is already cloud computing. In a way, that's not entirely wrong, but obviously cloud computing isn't just that. And I think it is only very recently that big organizations, including government or even commercial organizations, are beginning to be aware that cloud computing is more than that. It is actually about sharing a facility at a much, I don't know, deeper or higher level. If we're talking about applications, actually it's the sharing at a much higher level that that organizations are actually finding out that they are not. It's not just about sharing of data center space. I think from that regard, there needs to be more needs to be done in terms of figuring out how it will impact government or public sector computing or other even large organization computing and so on. Well, I think the first thing about it is that a lot of people would consider it unsafe because our data is going to be in the cloud, our application is going to be in the cloud, and I think it will take a little bit of time and convincing and technology showcasing what really is happening to convince people that for very secure or high security requirement type of application, it is suitable. A lot of big organizations, CIOs and so on, probably still are very hesitant about it. But of course, partly it is also the same case with the situation before when they were thinking about outsourcing their hardware or server hosting to data centers. It was the same, very much the same concept at the time, because they thought, hey, it would be safer if it is put in my facility rather than some other people's facility. But then again, using that example, after a while, people begin to understand that, hey, actually, it is safer to put it in a commercially graded top tier data center rather than my own data center that I built, because they have higher grade of all kinds of disaster recovery type of measures. They actually have better security, physical security safeguards than my own data center. Everybody, cleaning lady, everybody can go in and out and so on. So in the end, some people, some organizations begin to find out actually it might be contradictorily, it might be the reverse. It is safer to put your stuff in other people's jurisdiction or handling. Now, in the cloud computing situation, beyond just we're talking about physical facility management of data centers, especially when you're talking about an application level of sharing. How is the cloud computing industry going to be able to convince the user organizations, public or private, that it is the right thing to do, it is actually even safer? I think that is the critical thing that the industry needs to convince the big organizations to follow suit.